Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, welcome to Zero Fucks Given, episode number 37, and I'm live here with Chris DeLeon, aka Joey Barden. Joey, what's up?
What's up? We were talking off the podcast, and we were talking about things that we would love to see done. You specifically were talking about rebooking SummerSlam and Battleground, and of course, you know me, I'm the classic guy. I'm more of rebooking WCW, the WWF Invasion storyline and things like that. So.
I will make you a deal. You let me rebook the ending results of Battleground in the SummerSlam card, and I'll do it in 5 minutes. I'll give you the rest of the show to rebook the NWO angle when they came into WWF. That is the most popular rebooked angle in the world. Every time I look up rebookings, it's always the NWO angle.
Well, I would go with a different storyline.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to make you do the NWO one, but I was just shooting it out there. Alright, so, Battleground. For those of you that don't know, Battleground happened, today's Tuesday? It happened 48 hours ago. I mean, more than 40. It's 3:37 a.m. John Cena's ass. But towards the end of the match, you have Rusev come out, get in the match. Cena and Owens beat the shit out of him. Then Cesaro comes in, fucking Cena turns around, whoo, up in the air, bow, Swiss uppercut, Cena's done. Then Owens turns around, Cena's going to get up, tosses him into the ropes, boom, pop-up powerbomb, 1, 2, 3. Owens is the United States champion. The main event was good. I liked how they did the Undertaker thing. That was great. SummerSlam, we keep the main event, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, slap on the Hell in a Cell thing. Then, you got the United States title. No, you got John Cena versus Seth Rollins for the WWE title. Fine, I don't like John Cena in the WWE picture, because he has not fucking earned it again, but whatever, fine, we'll keep it. Then, you have Cesaro versus Kevin Owens versus Rusev for the United States title. That match brings ratings. That match brings pay-per-view buys. Then, you got for the Divas title, you have Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks versus Nikki Bella versus Paige versus Charlotte. Fucking a 6-way Divas match. Hell, let's bring well, you can't have Elimination Chamber and Hell in a Cell on the same night. So, 6-way Divas action for the Divas title. Let's rename it the Women's title. How about that one, fucking WWE? Then, you got the tag team titles. You got Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. One of the best tag teams, I want to say, in WWE right now. Then, you have the Ascension become dangerously serious. That is sexy as Mickey James. It's fucking great. You have them become one of the most serious tag teams in the world. You don't have them shoot on the Road Warriors. What's wrong with you? Then, if they become real serious, the crowd gets behind them leading up to SummerSlam. You have the Primetime Players versus the Ascension. Make it a hell of a match. Have the Ascension drop the Primetime Players. Boom! Future is now. Then we're off to the Intercontinental title. If Ryback is not healthy, you strip him of the damn title. Whoa, timeout. What?
If they want to make the Intercontinental title legit again, they will do what they did a long time ago, and they will unify it with the Undisputed World Championship title, let it go away for a while, let its lineage stop for a while, and you have to put it on a guy that is like Kevin Owens or Ben Balor or somebody like that, and then take it away for a while, and then bring it back and bring some legitimacy back, which I'm actually going to talk about.
Okay, so say they don't do that, and say they just strip right back of the title. They want to bring Balor up to the main roster, and they want Neville to be somebody serious.
Put it on Finn Balor.
Put it on Balor or Neville. Have that be the fucking SummerSlam match.
And leave it on somebody for a while. Like,
fucking have them have dramatic title defenses. Have them make the title mean something.
They could have done that, and I think that's what they were going for with Wade Barrett. I think that they were trying to bring some legitimacy back to it, and then when they put it on
Ziggler,
Curtis Axel.
Oh, Axel was good though with Heyman. I mean, with Heyman backing him, like it made him look serious and legitimate. And then fucking, I don't know where the ball dropped with that, but Axel, I forgot who Axel. Didn't Axel drop it to Barrett? I think he dropped it to Barrett.
I don't know.
I don't remember, but I know whoever he dropped it to was I don't remember. But Axel was a damn good Intercontinental Champion. I don't know what happened after that. I know when they gave it to Ziggler, and then they had Luke Harper take it on Raw, I was like, what? You're going to have Luke Harper, alright, fine, give him an Intercontinental title run, that's cool. Ziggler took it back at TLC, and then you go to the Rumble, and Luke Harper's fucking Intercontinental Champion again. You get to the Elimination Chamber, Ziggler's Intercontinental Champion again, Luke Harper, Ziggler, Luke Harper, Ziggler, Luke Harper's Intercontinental, no, Barrett was Intercontinental Champion by this point. WrestleMania comes around. You have the greatest ladder match you could ever have for the Intercontinental title, and you give it to the one guy who was out for literally a whole year, and you think nothing bad is going to happen? Okay,
well,
WWE.
I don't know if it's the greatest ladder match of all time, maybe in your lifetime.
No, I said the greatest ladder match they could have had for the Intercontinental title at that time.
At that time.
Yeah, at that time.
Because the greatest Intercontinental ladder match
was Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels.
It's a toss-up between Shawn and Razor and Benoit and Jericho.
At Royal Rumble, yeah, that was good. We talked about that a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, have Balor versus Neville, or Neville versus who else would because Big Show and Miz, get them the fuck out of the title picture. Let Big Show retire. Let it happen. Big Show's not happy. Let him retire. Miz, fuck the Miz. I hate him. I hate his gimmick. I hate him. Let him go do movies. He's good in movies. Give Neville...
He's a good actor.
How about this? Neville versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental title. Have Neville win. Boom. Launch his career into stardom right there.
Why are they... I don't understand what they're doing with Dolph Ziggler.
I don't know. 1 minute they're making him look like a fucking young buck wannabe, and now they're fucking... I don't know what they're doing. But, how about this one? How about we take the gay-ass paint off Cody and have him be Cody Rhodes again? Fucking make it a three-way.
Again, this is like, I'm looking at my stream, WrestlingFlashback.com, cheap plug, and I'm watching Butch Reed versus... Ric Flair, Clash of the Champions. Clash of the Champions 13, right here in Jacksonville, Florida. But there's certain things that, you talk to me about WWE and NXT, and it's like me talking to you about, Gary Capetta. You probably don't have any idea
who that is. I know who Gary Capetta is.
Okay. Well, my thing is sometimes I'll bring up a wrestler or a referee or something, and people go, who? It's like me talking to you about Portland Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know that it is.
See, if I started talking to you about Portland Championship Wrestling, you'd be like...
That brings me back to something that me and Nate were talking about. We were talking about Tough Enough, and it was the season that Big Andy won, and the Cameron, who was one of the Funkadactyls, was on that Tough Enough. She was the first person eliminated. Stone Cold was like, what is one of your favorite matches? She goes, Melina versus Alicia Fox. Stone Cold goes to walk away, stops, turns around, and goes, who? And he's just like, I've heard answers like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, Sting, Hulk Hogan. Who the hell is that? And then she was just like, well, I haven't been watching wrestling that long. He kept walking. He was just like, no. She got eliminated that week. I was so happy. That was a legitimate elimination. She did not deserve to be here.
Yeah.
But okay, now it is time for you to rebook your angle. You have, holy shit, 10 minutes to rebook it.
Well, I think my rebooking would be, and it's because I'm such a fan of Bret Hart, is that the things that could have been done with him in WCW, it would take too long to rebook Bret Hart, so I'm gonna kind of get around and not do that one. I think rebooking the Invasion story would be where I would want to kind of start and maybe pick up some other time, because it's such a long, drawn-out thing. My favorite rebooking of the Invasion story, anything by Jim Cornette, because I know you don't like him, but Jim Cornette to me is just absolute gold. You have to look at the fact that I was actually in the pro wrestling business for a little while, and so I've been a manager, I've been a booker, I've set up and torn down rings. You talk to anybody in the business, and if you tell them that, they'll go, okay, he paid his dues. But I think what I would have done if I
To the night that they invaded. Oh, that was great.
No, I'm talking about like not the old Raw, but not the old WWF Raw, if that's what you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about when Jericho and Kane were getting beat down, and then the WWF came to the ring, and it was like Taz, the Dudley Boys, Raven, Justin Credible, and then they all like turned around, and then Paul Heyman was like, "This is ECW," and I was like, "Yeah."
So, I would have left WCW on TNT, and I would have made the show happen over at TNT. You got your WWF bookers kind of there to watch it, but let the WCW bookers stay.
Well, I mean,
kind of like keep things over there on TNT. Keep ECW where it is in the WWF, and make it legitimate to where, like, I thought it was great, like when Hugh Morris invaded and Shane invaded with Stacy Keibler and Mike Awesome winning the Hardcore title and Lance Storm and all that stuff was great, but it would have made so much more sense had they been on TV over you're watching TNT and you're watching WCW, and Raw is over there on the USA Network, and all of a sudden the camera switches WWF, and you got a double screen of what's going on in the ring in WCW, and then you see the WWF guy or the WCW guys doing something over in the WWF, and you have everything going one screen in the WWF. So you kind of got your two realities going on, but you have a captive audience with a WCW audience, and then the WWF audience is going, what the hell? It would have made it legitimate, and you could have taken Booker T versus whoever was the champ at that time.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
And you could have had...
Yeah, I was fixing to say, like, You could have had like Booker T come out on Nitro and call out Stone Cold, like straight up be like, that punk ass sucker in the WWF think he's a champion, sucker. You don't know what a real champion is.
And then you could have had Stone Cold come over to WCW because
Stun fucking Booker.
Now you own WCW, so you could have gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Like how?
And then you could have had them meet at a Royal Rumble, WrestleMania,
the Invasion pay-per-view was good, but it could have been WCW and WWF present Invasion. The buy rate would have been so, because like there was guys that were diehard WCW fans, and there were guys that were diehard WWF fans. That would make them tune in, because you'd be like, you don't get to be a diehard fan tonight, bitch. You gotta tune in and watch them both.
Well, here's
like the main event. And the main event, I'm trying not to cut you off. The main event, Booker T versus Stone Cold for both the WCW and the WWF title.
And then you go on to unify the titles.
Yeah.
And then you have them going back and forth between WWF and WCW. But the other thing is that people would have known, because the internet was around in 2001.
Yeah, people would have known, like, what the plans were.
People would have known that Vince owned the WCW.
Well, I mean,
but you could have had the ECW guys attack with the WCW guys, and like, wait a minute, why are our WWF guys attacking other WWF guys? And then you make the alliance to where the ECW guys are now going and tagging up.
Well, actually, I have like
WCW.
I have like two comments.
Guys.
I have two comments there. One, you think about that, WrestleMania 17 was also that same year. You could have had Undertaker versus Sting. Like, that, oh my god. And they were both in their prime.
Yes, exactly. They were both in their prime.
That would have been, you had the cocky black and white Sting. You had the American Badass. Fucking.
You could have had near the end of his, he wasn't in his prime anymore, but near the end of the really, really good old Ric Flair. You could have had Ric Flair because Undertaker versus Sting, so you take Undertaker versus Triple H out of the equation.
Triple H versus Ric Flair. I mean, and then that same WrestleMania you had Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. What if you would have kept Chris Benoit as a WCW guy? That match would have made a whole lot more better, because it would be Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit, WCW versus WWF. Now, you talk about the main event of Invasion, though, with Booker T versus Stone Cold. Here's the way we could have brought ECW in.
Wait a minute. Let's talk about WrestleMania 17.
That was a great main event. That was a great main event.
Tell everybody what I got in my hand.
He has a VHS copy of WrestleMania 17. Houston, we have a problem. Now,
okay, so the WWF Championship, The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hold on. Before we get to that, in the main event of Invasion, you would have had Booker T versus Stone Cold, right? Who was the last ECW champion? Wasn't it like Rhino or like RVD or somebody? Rhino. Okay. Stone Cold hits the stunner. Stone Cold he's flipping out. He's flipping the bird. He's setting up for another stunner. Rhino hits the fucking ring out of the crowd. Stone Cold doesn't see him turn around. Gore! The match is over. Ends in a disqualification. Nobody wins the titles. So then Stone Cold is still your WWF champion. Booker T is still your WCW World Heavyweight champion. But now ECW is in the mix. Now you have... there you go. I don't know what the pay-per-view was after Invasion. I felt like it was SummerSlam. It was Survivor Series. It was.
No. Let's see here. July 22nd, 2001. This is November, bro.
Okay. So July was the Invasion, right?
Yes.
So August,
July.
SummerSlam was next. At SummerSlam, you could have Booker T versus Rhino versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, don't have all three titles on the line, but this is the battle of the brands.
Yes.
You have
and that is when you question whether the alliance is going to happen.
Yes.
Because
yes.
you have Booker T in the ring defending his title, you have Rhino in the ring defending his title, and you have Stone Cold.
No. The titles are not on the line. You do not put the belts on the line. This is a battle of the brands. You don't have the titles on the line yet. You do not. I mean, it is SummerSlam, but you do not have the titles on the line because one guy holding 3 titles, it ain't gonna look so pretty. I mean, granted, okay, now after this match, then you have everybody fighting for contendership. Everybody wants to be ECW champion. Everybody wants to be WCW champion. Everybody wants to be WWF champion. Let's say Booker T is not 100%. The Rock goes to WCW. The Rock beats Booker T for the WCW World Heavyweight title.
And then you put the spin on it that if you want to win the ECW Heavyweight Championship, you have to beat an ECW guy in an ECW match. And if you want to win the WCW Championship, you have to go over to WCW and beat them in a main event.
Now, you knock ECW out of the picture because it's not hard to do. You have Rhino defend the ECW title versus, give me a hardcore guy, Mike Awesome at fucking WrestleMania. There you go. Then you have at WrestleMania 17, you have the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, the Brahma Bull, The Rock, versus the WWF Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Put both belts on the line, and the same shit happens at WrestleMania 17. Vince McMahon, Stone Cold, handshake, boom.
And the funny thing is like you can just rebook all that and still stay within the same storyline.
Yeah, like it's not hard to do. Like exactly, I just kept the ending of WrestleMania 17 the same way it ended, but I put the build up a whole lot better.
And the exact same ending, chair shots and everything.
Exactly. Now, okay, some people are going to hear this. And they're going to go, well, what about this Survivor Series match between Team WWF and the Alliance? You don't do it. It really wasn't needed.
It wasn't needed. I did like the immunity battle.
But if you do want to do something like that, you hold it off until WrestleMania. Shane McMahon owns WCW. Vince McMahon owns the WWF. It is where the loser is done. They are out of business forever.
Now, what you do instead of doing what Vince does, you have that storyline, same thing. You save it for WrestleMania, right? So you stretch this all out for well over a year.
Oh yeah.
And what you do is that the winner takes all. Again, you stay in the same storylines, winner takes all, but you have it come down. And I would think that it would be good in a Survivor Series match because, and I think it not that year, but maybe the next Survivor Series, we have some stuff happen where you kind of like have some things, pivotal things happen at WrestleMania, but what you do is you take it to Survivor Series of 2002. And WCW is still running, but because what you want to do is you want to keep that ball rolling as well.
Yeah.
You want to get residual income from their pay-per-views as well. This is me booking TEW as well. You want to book good matches. But what you do is at Survivor Series, you have a Survivor Series match just like 2001, only you make it 2002, and you make it end in a no contest.
Well, okay, hold on. Before we get to the Survivor Series, at WrestleMania 17, it was Shane versus Vince. But at this time, in our storyline, Shane would own WCW, Vince would own WWF. Now, the winner of this would own both companies. Shane wins. Shane still wins. The fucking coast to coast still happens. Shane wins. Mick Foley's still special guest referee. Linda still kicks Vince in the dick. Vince then needs to win back the WWF. At Survivor Series,
exactly.
It is Team WWF fighting for what they believe is their last shot. You still have the team captain, The Rock, Kurt Angle. Wait, was Angle? It was The Rock, Kane, Undertaker, Jericho, and The Big Show. And you have them fight Shane McMahon, RVD, Booker T, Kurt Angle, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because at that time, you have The Rock be like, I'm the WCW, or you fucked me over, Vince, but I love the WWF. You have Stone Cold still holding both belts. He goes, fuck you, Vince, I'm going to WWF, or I'm going to WCW. The Rock then, and then this would further The Rock and Stone Cold, because then, after Survivor Series, after Team WWF wins, after Team WWF wins.
I was rebooking it.
Well, I know, but I'm helping you out here.
Go ahead.
After Team WWF wins, that next Monday night, Stone Cold versus The Rock wins. That next Monday night, Hulk Hogan comes out. This is right after WrestleMania 17. Hulk Hogan comes out. He plans the whole, I've main evented WrestleMania after WrestleMania after WrestleMania. And then he goes, there's nothing left for Hulk Hogan to do. If you smell! And this is like John Cena and The Rock. The Rock looks at Hulk Hogan and goes, let's give the fans what they want. At WrestleMania 18, the WWF icon Hulk Hogan fights the WWF's future, the Brahma Bull, The Rock. WrestleMania 18 is set in stone. The Rock and Hulk Hogan. For the WCW, for the undisputed title, whatever you want to call it, the Elite, the Undisputed, the Magnificent, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, that match is set in stone. I just wanted to do that because I love that match.
Well, and what you want to do is that you want to keep the continuity and the residuals of WCW money coming in, so you have your WWF pay-per-views, your WCW pay-per-views, and every once like 3 or 4 months you give ECW their own pay-per-view.
Well then, and then you think about it, okay, SummerSlam rolls around right before WrestleMania 18, and you gotta further the feud of The Rock and Hulk Hogan to make it look like the WrestleMania is gonna be a big fucking deal. So, at WrestleMania, either The Rock versus Stone Cold, the rematch, or Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan. Now, if we was to do Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan, say Hulk Hogan has already had The Rock hit by the truck with the NWO. The NWO has been terrorizing the fuck out of Stone Cold. Stone Cold has now jumped ship back to the WWF because all on WCW, they have backed the NWO. They have chosen Hulk Hogan as their front man, leaving Stone Cold out to hang. Stone Cold's like, I'm going to go home. He goes back to Vince. Vince takes him back. At SummerSlam, it is Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold. Hogan.
Now, before we get to that, is Stone Cold singing and playing the guitar?
Nah, you could. We have like a minute and a half left.
Well, we'll just go ahead and wrap it up, and maybe we'll remember that we have Hulk Hogan in the WWF as kind of their top guy, and Stone Cold has jumped ship back to the WWF from the WCW. I am Chris DeLeon, a.k.a. Joey Barton, and your host,
Chris Zero.
The undeniable, the elite, Chris Zero.
Yes. 88 times. Alright, no, we'll see you later. We'll be back in about 15 minutes to wrap this rebooking up. We love you guys. Stay tight.